Alright, so today we'll be finding distance on a coordinate plane, so a distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. So sometimes finding the distance between points on a coordinate plane is as simple as looking and counting the number of units, like in graph A, right? You can find distance. What's the distance in graph A? How many units? 3. But graph B is more what we're going to be looking at. Okay, so other times we might need to find a diagonal distance, like graph B, which is what we're going to be doing today. It will be a diagonal distance. To find a diagonal distance on the coordinate plane, we can create our own right triangle. And use the Pythagorean theorem to calculate the distance. The diagonal distance would then represent what? What part of the triangle? What do we call it? The hypotenuse. Good. Then we represent that as what letter? You got it. Or C. So in graph B, to create a right triangle, there you go. You can also draw it. You can also draw it that way. There we go. And then you have 2 straight lines, right? And so that will be easier to count your distance. So let's look at our first example. In example number 1, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between points A and B in each problem, and we will be rounding to the nearest 10. Okay, so this is our diagonal distance. And we're just going to create a right triangle. How many units is this? How many units? 4 units. Good. How many units is the other leg? 5. Questions so far? All right. And of course, we're going to start with our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Then we're going to substitute in our values for our legs. 4 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. Now we're going to solve. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. 16 plus 25 is, all right, 16 plus 25 is, y'all are correct, 41. How do we find C? What's the inverse? Good. So the square root of C squared is C. The square root of 41 to the 10th place is 6.4 units. Questions? So we're just solving for the hypotenuse again, right? All right, so with your table, I would like for you to do number 2 and number 3, and then we'll check. Do the 2 points. Okay, so we plotted our 2 points. Negative 6, 1 and negative 4, 5. We drew a right triangle and we labeled it side 2 and 4 units. The square root of 20 is what to the nearest 10? 4.5 units. Questions? So this time you know how to plot your points, right? Let's move down and look at number 7. This is similar to your warm-up. You had to find the perimeter of the trapezoid. Okay? Any ideas on how we can determine?
How you split them into half?
Absolutely. So we can split them up to find the perimeter. So do you see a right triangle now? Okay. And how many units? So let's look at our rectangle. How many units here? 6. And how many units there? 8. Okay, and then if this is 6, then this is also 6, right? And if this is 8, this is also 8. Okay, but when we want perimeter, we only want the outline of our trapezoid right there in purple. Okay?
what is the length from here to here?
6.
Is it 6?
Okay. Can we simplify those two sides?
We can divide it by what? 2, yeah. What's 6 divided by 2? 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this is a 3, 4, 5 triple. What do we have to do to 5 to get this length? Multiply it by 2. Because remember we simplified the sides by 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. Now can we find the perimeter? Yes, we have 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6. And then our hypotenuse is 10. And what do y'all get as the perimeter in units?
Thank you.
36 units. Questions?
All right, with your table, I want you to complete the rest of the page with your table, and make sure when you do number 9 at the bottom that you read carefully. Okay? So 5, 6, 8, and 9. Okay? So this is a 3, 4, and then a 5 triple. Okay, so the distance, this is 5, and this is 5. And then from here to here is 9, and then again from here to here is 9. And so that leaves us with 5 plus 5, and then 9 plus 9 to give us 28. All right, number 9. Okay, did you read that each unit on the graph represents 2 miles? So once you get your answer, you had to do what? Multiply it by 2. So if you got half of what the answer is, you forgot to multiply by 2. Okay, so for A, you get 24.2 miles. So half of that would be what? 12.1. You got 12.1, you forgot to double. Okay? Questions on that one? Uh-huh.
I didn't understand because it wasn't a right triangle.
Where?
It's not a right triangle because the A and the C aren't lined up. The C is like 1 unit to the right.
That lines up, because you can always create a right triangle with any 2 points. So did you get 2 units here, and then you go straight down to C, which is 10. You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. B is 20.4 miles. If you got 10.2, you forgot to multiply by 2. Questions on B? Ashley's house to Carly's house. And then C, whose house does Ashley live the closest to and by how many miles? So we had to subtract our answers from A and B, right? And by how many is by 3.8 miles. Are we good with that? Questions? Okay, let's see. So if you look at the next page, it looks like this. Distance on the coordinate plane. You have 5 problems on the front, and then turn it. You have one very similar to what we just did with Ashley and Carly's house. Questions? Okay, that's your homework.